How much is Tammy Abraham worth to West Ham? How much should West Ham pay for Tammy Abraham? We've been linked with a move for Tammy Abraham for £40 million, or the reports suggest that Chelsea want £40 million if they're going to depart ways with Tammy Abraham. And obviously, it does look like that West Ham are the favourites to sign him. Aston Villa have been linked with him. But £40 million for West Ham is a huge sum of money, considering the fact that we don't know how much we're going to have available to us in the summer. We might only have 60 million. If we've only got 60 million to play with, then spending 40 million on Tammy Abraham, while still need to addressing centre mid cover, left back cover, maybe looking at a new goalkeeper if there's one available, another potential centre back coming in if we get into Europe and bolster our ranks in defence, then 40 million, spending over half your budget on a player is probably not wise. So we do need to be very strategic. But out of all the strikers that we've been linked with, Danny Ings, Adam Hoslek, there's plenty of other strikers that we've been linked with. I actually want, out of all of them, I want Tammy Abraham the most. And that's probably a little bit surprising to some people in this video, but I will disclose my reasons why. Firstly, he's young, he's 23 years of age. And I do realise there are some raw elements to Tammy Abraham. For example, I don't think his hold-up play is as good as possibly should be. And it's probably one of the major reasons why he gets overlooked at Chelsea. However, he does score goals. And he's seen throughout his stint at Swansea, at Aston Villa. Maybe not so much Swansea. Let's get rid of Swansea. Aston Villa. Chelsea the first season under Frank Lampard, 15 goals in all competitions. And he's even Chelsea's top goal scorer right now with 12 goals in all competitions, whilst hardly playing at the moment. He's lucky to be even featuring in the squad. Now, we don't know whether that is due to an injury or a fallout with Thomas Tuchel. He's just not playing for Chelsea. I think I've read he's got 6 goals in 21 Premier League appearances. Now, that says, if you're looking at in context in terms of stats, 6 goals in 21 games, it doesn't look impressive. If you're paying 40 million for someone, or you're being linked with paying 40 million for someone, you would want a better return. You probably want, 10 goals or 12 goals in 20 games. However, he hasn't started every game. A lot of his minutes are coming off the bench, or he's rotated in and out the team. You've only got to see that Thomas Tuchel team about how often players get rotated depending on the opposition. So he isn't getting consistent game time. Now, He also is young, 23 years of age. He can be moulded into the striker that David Moyes wants him to be. And whilst it would probably be good that we could maybe sign a 26-year-old or proven striker, we've been linked with Adam Hoslek, okay? This is someone who's very raw. Whilst he is scoring goals for Sparta Prague, he's very raw and coming to a league that he has to adapt to. Yes, he's friends with Soufal and Thomas Suchet, but we can't just rely on our scouting network in Czech Republic. Whilst, we can find gems like we've done with Soufal and Suchet, we're not going to get it right every single time. Not every player coming from the Czech Republic is going to come to England and be ducked to water like them two have been. So we still need to have that element of, we need to scout very good in the Premier League. We need to be scouting from the lower leagues. And whilst we have been linked with lower league players like Adam Armstrong, Adam Armstrong, yes, he's very good at running into the channels, but I don't think he scored that many goals since January. The last time I read he scored like 3 goals. That was a few weeks ago, so it might have changed. He might have gone on a run of form. But since those links to West Ham and other Premier League clubs, he hasn't really hit the heights that maybe he will have to do in the Premier League if he's going to be a successful signing for West Ham. Blackburn, 1 in 25 million. Now, if you analyse that, and even Tony. Now, Ivan Tony, 29 goals, a lot of goals in the Championship. Don't get me wrong, playing very well for Brentford. I think 10, 11 of them are penalties. So 18, 19 goals from open play. But again, they're still a gamble. Whilst Ollie Watkins has been very good for Aston Villa, and Ollie Watkins goes through patches of scoring goals. Tony might replicate that. He might, but he might not replicate that. He might literally just be a Championship striker like Michael Chopra back in the day. Whilst they're scoring a lot of goals in the Championship, doesn't mean it's going to translate into scoring in the Premier League. And whilst it's very good looking at the Championship, if they're asking 30 million for Ivan Toney, if Blackburn are asking 25 million for Adam Armstrong, then 40 million for Tammy Abraham in terms of, we know we're going to get someone who's going to score 14, 15 goals a season in the Premier League. And whilst we should be looking to try and get a 20 goal a season striker, and I say we should be, but realistically, we're not going to get a 20 goal a season striker, because quite frankly, they're kind of a myth in terms of there's very few of them out there in order to West Ham to be able to get them. You look at the ones in the Premier League. If you go on PremierLeague.com and look at the stats and filter them by goals, look at the ones that have actually scored 20 goals a season plus. Harry Kane, your Salahs, your Manes, your Aubameyangs. Sometimes you'll see that you obviously got Jamie Vardy in there. But what West Ham need to do is sign a striker who's going to probably get you 14 or 15 goals on average, like a Danny Ings. Danny Ings is guaranteed to probably get you 14, 15 goals every single season. But if he has a couple of good seasons, he'll have 18, 19, 20 goals, like he did last season. I think he got 22 goals, and I think this season he's on around about 15, maybe. I'm not too sure. He has been injured quite a lot. Maybe I'm completely wrong with that. But for £40 million, would I pay 40 million? If West Ham can buy Tammy Abraham, but they can also strengthen at left back, at centre back, at centre mid, the other positions that West Ham need to push on if we are to get Europe or just build as a club, then I would pay the £40 million realistically. And whilst £40 million is a lot of money, does he justify the £40 million in terms of, has he done enough to be a £40 million player? No, he probably hasn't. But 15 goals last season, 12 goals this season, top goal scorer for Chelsea, despite really not having loads of minutes, you would have to suggest that you are paying a lot for potential. And we know how much potential is, factored in terms of transfer prices. Mbappe, whilst Mbappe's on another echelon of footballer compared to Tammy Abraham, he only had one good season at Monaco before PSG paid 160 million, or he was on a loan with an optional or an obligation to buy for 160 million. So when it comes to transfer fees, and I've literally just watched Gio's video, and when he mentioned as well that everything, the transfer fees that are happening around the world, in terms of, we paid 40 odd million for Haller, there's a Wobie, and whilst times have changed a little bit due to COVID, and transfer fees may have taken a little bit of a hit, 40 million, if we've got the money to still strengthen elsewhere, then I probably would do it. Ideally, I think 30 million is probably his true value, but you're probably not going to get him for 30 million, to be honest, because, Chelsea are going to be looking at West Ham and be like, well, they've been competing with us for the top four, so why should we strengthen them? If we believe he's 30 million, let's try and jack it up to 40, 45 million. So hopefully, West Ham will sign him. I want him out of all of them, personally, just because we've got to be flexible in terms of our scouting. We can't just sign everyone from Czech Republic, or we can't find all these gems. Sometimes you're going to have to pay a little bit of a premium. But then as long as you can balance it with picking up a couple of gems, maybe from Slavia Prague or Germany or wherever you pluck them out of the sky from, then it isn't too bad of business. Hit the subscribe button for more West Ham videos. I'll catch you next time. See you later.